Manufacturers like Airbus and Boeing are very good at designing and putting together commercial aircraft, but they themselves manufacture few of the parts they use. Rather, they rely on an extensive supply chain of thousands of specialized manufacturers who engineer and deliver individual parts. Take this Boeing 787-10 for instance. The composite wings were made by Mitsubishi Heavy Industries in Shimonoseki, Japan. It's for that reason that Boeing's Dreamlifters make frequent trips to Japan, and for the country's contribution to the Boeing 787 program, the first ever prototype built is on permanent display at Nagoya's Chubu Centrair International Airport. These GE NX-1B engines are assembled by GE Aerospace in Durham, North Carolina. The belly beacons are made by Goodrich, whose lighting division is now part of Collins Aerospace, manufactured in Lippstadt, Germany. The gear and braking systems are made by Safran at multiple locations, including in Bidos in southwestern France, while the tires are supplied by Bridgestone from plants in Tokyo and Fukuoka in Japan and Rayong in Thailand. This geographically diverse collaborative process continues when you look inside. The business class seats are made by Thomson Aeroseating in Craigavon, Northern Ireland, while the economy class seats are made by Recaro in Schwäbisch Hall, Germany. We have a great video on our channel showcasing Recaro's manufacturing process in Schwäbisch Hall when they gave us an exclusive look inside their main factory. Make sure to check out that video too. Even the power ports are made by another company, Astronics, which is headquartered in Kirkland, Washington. But while airlines cannot choose the wings or gears, they have a lot to say when it comes to the interiors. EVA Air could have chosen different manufacturers for the seats or even the power ports. How these decisions are made, what factors contribute to them, and simply the world behind aircraft interior design has fascinated me for years and is still a main driver for putting so much effort into this channel. After all, my mission is to make content that's useful and informative first, preferring something in-depth over a video that's flashy but superficial. So, over the past few years, I've been diving deeper and deeper into this world to learn more about it and most importantly to find things I can show you. As part of this effort, I'm attending this year's Aircraft Cabin Innovation Summit hosted by RedCabin in Dublin, Ireland. They were kind enough to allow me in there free of charge, but they did not compensate me in any way beyond that, with me paying for all travel expenses myself. The generous support from our channel members allows me to attend such events and make videos like this one, which don't yield the same revenue as flight reviews do, but that I believe are integral to enhancing the depth of our coverage. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you for your support, and if you're not a channel member already, you can become one for as little as €2 per month, which is just €24 per year, and support our work as well. So in today's video, let me take you along to the event and showcase what airlines, design studios, and equipment manufacturers discuss and learn, and how that influences what you see in an aircraft's cabin in the end. First, we need to get to Dublin, which luckily isn't that expensive given that that's where Ryanair is from. An easy 2.5-hour flight from my hometown of Vienna, and we've made it to Dublin. On my way to baggage claim, I spotted this Airbus A350 of LATAM, which I found very surprising as they gave away their subfleet of A350s all the way back in 2021, and I figured all of them found new operators already. However, this frame was stored in Teruel, Spain all this time and only now is being taken over by Edelweiss Air and made its way to Dublin to get painted. We have caught a flight on its sister aircraft back in 2017, of which a trip report is available on our channel too. The conference takes place at this swanky hotel in Dublin's modern Point Village neighborhood. Unfortunately, I wasn't there for the first day, which had some super interesting round tables like aircraft interior for leasing companies and the future of business and first class, as well as a deep dive into the concept and ideas behind ANA's new The Room FX, their new business class, replacing the aging product aboard their Boeing 787s with this evolution of their business class, The Room, that's already available aboard their Boeing 777s. And it was given by no other than Katsunori Maki, Director of Cabin Products at ANA. Next summit I will make it for the first day too. The second day starts off with some networking and a handful of companies presenting their products. These are great opportunities to learn about companies I did not know existed, like Trelleborg, a Swedish conglomerate with a German subsidiary focusing on sealing solutions. Yes, all they do is seals and polymer products for a variety of industries, including aerospace, where they make parts for things like the emergency oxygen systems, but also customized parts for numerous cabin elements. Thomson Aeroseating was also very present at this summit, even bringing one of the extra-large Vantage XL seats to try. This first-class level suite is designed for the bulkhead row of a business-class cabin for airlines to utilize space that otherwise would have been lost to a wall monument, and be able to upcharge from business class for passengers wishing for an even more elevated experience. This particular seat is already in operation on Virgin Atlantic's Airbus A330neo, where they are marketed as retreat suites. It's a fascinating concept and even includes the option for 4 people to come together at one table to hold a meeting or for a family to spend some time. The initial networking is followed by a handful of insightful discussions, where I particularly enjoyed Well-Being Reimagined with Erika Enne, head of in-flight customer experience at Finnair, an airline that has put together a phenomenal premium product in recent years, as well as Johannes Lampella and Nathan Portlock from BMW-owned Designworks, where they talked about how airliner cabins might be able to incorporate innovations already found in cars. Designworks has a lot of experience with airline cabin design though, as they put together Starlux's A321neo cabins, and yes, also this business class cabin for Eva Air's Boeing 787 Dreamliners. In general, design firms were very present at this summit, as they are the ones hired by airlines to put together a great product, meaning they're the ones who need to know what's going on in the market. I got a chance to catch Danielle McInnes, director at Priestman Goode, one of the most accomplished transportation design consultancies, responsible for masterpieces such as Qatar Airways Q Suite, the entire new corporate branding of Aegean, and all of United's contemporary branding, including its Polaris business class. I was wondering what his thoughts were on what the future holds for aircraft cabins.
I think the exciting thing with the future of aviation interiors is those trends that we see evolving. There's an amazing push on a connected digital experience, being able to do, I think as we saw today with Finnair, being able to do all of your ordering for online food, digital shopping, understanding what the whole experience and the journey's like through your app on your phone or through the IFE in the cabin. It's also those enhancements to well-being, and I think that's going to be the key thing as it's been talked about today. It's how to make that passenger feel amazingly refreshed when they get off the plane. We've talked about air filtration and making the atmosphere good. We've talked about heating and cooling in seats. And then there's also the thing that you get from car design, and it's the sort of blood flow and the rocking motions of those seats. All of those details going into a product, it's going to be fantastic because it's going to make the passenger it's like, I'll remember that seat for the rest of my life because actually I came out of it better than I went on board. And I think that's one of the key things for me.
Obviously, that's the sort of dreaming you can do as a design firm. The reality is often much harder and passengers much less attentive to their surroundings. So I was pushing back a little as to whether economy class is also seeing developments, because what he's talking about is mostly for premium classes, where a lot of the investment is going to.
In 10 years.
I think it feels like nobody's developing anything for economy seats, and that's not true. I think there's a lot of people that have already done privacy, more space, all of these things which allow the passenger to have a really nice experience. But the really key thing is the development of cushions and the development of the seat pan and the back pan, because if you can make a great cushion system in there and the seat position, it'll give you a fantastic journey. So you want to give that offer of what's in premium economy back down to the economy passengers. So that development and innovation in terms of cushion densities and different thicknesses allows us to have a more comfortable journey. I think that's where you can really invest, because everything else is going to be lighter, thinner, smaller or bigger IFEs, but the most important bit is how comfortable that seat is. I think from a passenger point of view, if you've been on a kind of a low-cost airline, then yes, you're instantly going to say, well, I'm getting less and less space. But if you're looking at those flights which are those ultra-long destination flights, Australia to London, in the next couple of years. Those are the ones where the investment's going into the economy seat, because that passenger is going to sit in there for a long journey. And that is the key point. If you can make that seat comfortable and it lasts that long, then that's the key thing for any economy passenger. I think we've been really good at understanding passengers' needs. And I think the one thing that comes up from that is, can you make the interior of economy adaptable? Can it be for single passengers? Can it be for two people traveling together? Can it be for bigger groups? And you've seen concepts every couple of years of this. I think trying to build those adaptable spaces, like you get in maybe a well-being bar at business class or a zone area, if you can bring that backwards into economy, that would be fantastic, because then it allows those passengers that need it the most to have a space or a way of relaxing or adapting the space that they have in there. I think that's going to be a really nice way of doing things like that.
Segmentation by passenger needs and concepts like this are already popping up, such as aboard Air New Zealand's new ultra-long-haul configuration for their Boeing 787 Dreamliners that will include these sleep pods, or aboard Scoot, where they make use of their economy-heavy configuration to designate one section as Scoot in Silence, where only passengers aged 12 and above are allowed, and seats are fitted with adjustable headrests and offer more legroom.
An interesting kind of thought process of how the passenger uses those cabins. I think we can be very precious as designers to look at every single detail and treat it like a jewel. But actually, one thing that we do with our studies of building any new cabin is understanding how the passenger uses that space. So the onboarding experience of passenger coming down an aisle, pulling a trolley, rucksack on the bag. If you build the seat in a way that is so delicate, it's going to never withstand that abuse and it's not going to be there in another year's time. It's got to be maintained a lot. So from our point of view, we really want to design products that do last a lifetime, and they could be the 10-year life cycle of that seat, and it still looks good on the last day as it does on the first day. So we're really paying attention to how the passenger takes their suitcase out the bin. Does it put it straight on top of the seats, down the aisle, shoulder bags, damaging all of those parts? So we're really, I'd say, really pragmatic on understanding what they need to do and how we can adapt it.
And that's what RedCabin is about, exchanging experiences, learning from others, be it airlines, design firms, OEMs, interest groups, and other stakeholders. Monica Wick, founder of RedCabin, summarized it best.
As you said, we are an international summit, so we bring the industry of aircraft interiors together for 3 days of full networking, exchanging ideas. We have workshops. It's very interactive here and very open-minded in a very friendly atmosphere. And we have the best of the best experts here and the innovators and leaders from the industry. I think this is what people tell me why they love to come to RedCabin.
After the initial panel discussions, we were able to attend a variety of roundtables where I chose Design Disasters, a lighthearted romp through design principles and pitfalls, which was hosted by the one and only John Walton, one of the most experienced journalists when it comes to aircraft interiors. Check out his page called The Upfront. I highly recommend reading it if you are a nerd for this like I am. Anyway, we were divided into groups and were tasked with designing this business class seat control panel from scratch, which was super interesting. It initially feels like an easy exercise, but once you realize you need to design it for ease of use, make it intuitive even for first-time users, durable so spilled drinks can't leak into any physical buttons, it became really challenging. But that makes you appreciate even more how much thought needs to go into every detail, even those that passengers will never think about. A big trend in aviation that few think about is sustainability, and how hard airlines and OEMs work on making steps forward and developing new processes and materials. I spoke with Elena Coppola, who founded design firm Trendworks that, among others, put together Virgin Atlantic's Airbus A350 cabins, and also co-founded the Green Cabin Alliance, a non-profit industry organization whose mission it is to bring together airlines, OEMs, and design firms to figure out how to make airplane cabins more sustainable, but I'll let her explain their fascinating work.
Green Cabin Alliance is an industry organization to support the airlines to become more sustainable. And the reason why we're doing this is because most airlines in the world have pledged to become net zero by 2050. So the first step is to, have a common language, because we all have slightly different ideas of what sustainability means. How do we achieve this goal? So the first thing is to share best practice, share case studies, share how other industries might have achieved these goals. So we do a lot of education in our industry to our members and wider partners. So that's the kind of first step. And the second step would be to then find ways of bringing companies together to create new innovations that addresses the needs that airlines have.
And what we're doing at the Green Cabin Alliance is we're trying to bring collaboration and bring companies together to innovate and to really think about the entire life cycle of our cabins and what that means. And a really nice example is a collaboration between my company and Eleanor's company and two other players, where we've rethought what a dress cover can be. Almost every dress cover that you will have ever sat on probably will end up in landfill. They are a mixture of materials. There's no economic incentive to separate them. They can't be recycled. So we've designed a recyclable dress cover. And as we've been designing it, what we found is by rethinking how it works, it actually is more breathable, it's more durable, and obviously it has the recycling benefits. So we're, as a group, trying to come up and promote this kind of collaboration to really change the way we do interiors with that end of life in mind.
It's these small steps that, when all put together, can make a real difference. In the evening, RedCabin presented its Trinity Awards, an industry award that highlights what innovations and trends members of the industry rank as the most notable, with many in-flight experience professionals amongst those in the jury. Compared to some other awards, these are much more transparent and less flashy, as their goal isn't to generate marketing value, but to help the industry understand what's popular. There was an award for Best Passenger Experience Concept, which was won by Sky Tiles, a new product where the cabin carpets aren't installed as one big continuous piece, but are divided into recyclable tiles that last longer than big carpets, which shrink over time and are harder to clean or repair. The award for Best Cabin Service Concept went to Stellia Aerospace's new Opera Essential Business Class seat, which, by using new materials, is not just 30% lighter than conventional business class seats, but is also recyclable and uses fewer parts and energy. Best Sustainability Concept went to Boeing and its partners for developing a supply chain that transforms waste carbon emissions into fabric for seats. The award for Collaboration Excellence was given to the Aria Business Class seat, developed and designed by Cathay Pacific together with JPA Design. The jury also chose their favorite cabin MRO concept, which went to Studio ID for their Monova PE dress covers, the ones that Daniel Klukas mentioned earlier in the video. On the last day of the conference, we were invited by aircraft leasing firm Avolon to visit their headquarters and learn about aircraft leasing and how their approach to cabin design differs from airlines. And we were treated to a visit to Dublin's breathtaking Trinity College, where we also got to see the harp. I was too ignorant about Irish culture to have known that this harp, yes, the one from the Republic of Ireland's coat of arms, and thus Ryanair's logo, exists in physical form. That's really cool. After that, it was back to Dublin Airport and back home to Vienna. And with that, I want to thank you for watching and coming along this journey. Let me know if you enjoyed this video and if you are curious about seeing more about the world behind aircraft cabin design. I'm really stoked to dive deeper and give you more insights. If you are down for another video, feel free to take a look at my visit to the Aircraft Interiors Expo, the world's largest airline interior trade show. It's a great video too. Whether you are a channel member, a subscriber, or were simply stopping by for this one video, thank you very much for watching and coming along. I hope to see you again for a new video very soon, and until then, safe travels.